Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for a conversation about Zest, the freest and fastest gifting platform for businesses. Before we get started, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Greg Waldstreicher, and I'm the CEO here at Botable. Botable is an AI chatbot that learns your company documents, like, for example, an employee handbook, a benefits guide, and HR policies. Then the chatbot answers your employees' questions right in Slack, Teams, and Google Workspace, so you and your HR team can focus on strategic initiatives and high-impact tasks. This also results in happier and more productive employees. Speaking of happier employees, it's my pleasure to introduce today's speaker, Liz Lorgy, Head of Marketing at Zest. Liz comes to Zest by way of software as a service companies Leadpages, Drip, and Route. She empathizes with end users and strives to make technology relatable and accessible to all through her writing. Liz, take it away.
All right. Well, thanks for having me, Greg. Like Greg mentioned, today's topic is modernizing your employee experience with gifting, and Zest is covering the gifting part. I'm excited to dig into modernizing the employee experience, and let's get started. So, like you said, I'm Liz. I'm the head of content at Zest. And why am I talking about the employee experience today? I'm in marketing. What's going on? Well, I've spent the past 10 years in the tech and e-commerce space. And so I do a ton of research, a ton of writing, and creating a ton of content revolving around the experience of other people. I'm always thinking about how to make experiences easier, more delightful, and lasting. A lot like what Botable is doing, and a lot like what you strive to do in your day-to-day tasks with your employees and your team. In the end, we're all people, and I'm out to help everyone in my content and what I do in my day-to-day. And so I'm excited to talk about how that also impacts the employee experience and how we can make that a bit better today. So what we'll be talking about is the employee experience, what it is, why it matters, and what you can do to make yours great and sort of bridge the gap between what a good employee experience used to be and what a great one is today. So the employee experience, what is it? It's described technically by MIT as the work complexity and behavioral norms that influence employees' ability to create value. In other words, the employee experience hinges on a very long list of variables in the workplace. And this list ranges from more tangible things like the physical workspace and access to tools and resources that set them up for success in their role, to less material factors like how their manager manages, their ability to collaborate with the other people in their workspace or in their team, and then feeling like their well-being is a priority with their employer. So while accounting for things like a workspace, setting up a tech stack, getting them a laptop, all those things are easy enough to do and check off a to-do list. Hitting those less concrete targets, hitting those less tangible things is getting more challenging and more critical to nailing the employee experience and getting people to want to work for your company and want to stay with your company for the long run. So the employee experience looks a lot different today than it did even 5 years ago. And that's a difference that's been especially highlighted, underscored since 2020, the start of the pandemic. And an employee experience used to be considered pretty good if basic needs were being met through things like a livable wage, health insurance, a retirement plan. But over the past decade or so, it's really evolved to include more material frills like a modern, shiny open office space, a really good snack station, and the ping pong table that seemingly every workspace seems to have adopted over the past 5 years. But even if you're checking all these boxes, think you're offering it all, is that enough to really meet the needs of a modern employee and the experience they're looking for? As you might have guessed, it turns out the answer is no. All the studies are showing us no. As you can see in all these stats on the slide, it turns out that ping pong tables, obligatory happy hours, and other gestures that kind of come off as like generic and impersonal aren't enough. They're nice, but they're not enough. And we can tell all of that because employee engagement continues to drop. Quitting is up, and more people are hopping on the quiet quitting train, which means that they're coming into the workplace, they're doing the bare minimum of their role. They're punching in and out their 40 hours a week and nothing more. So they're not going the extra mile to collaborate, to innovate. And why is that? So I'm sure you could write a whole thesis, and I'm sure it has been done many times by now, about why this is happening. But in short, one reason is that millennials and now Gen Z coming into the workspace, they're breathing these new expectations into how and why they want to work. Another is that the pandemic really ushered in this really refreshing work-life balance that a lot of people don't want to give up. Instead of everyone being in the same office at the same times every day, the hybrid models or fully remote models are now offering this flexibility and accessibility that's being offered by working remotely. And the pandemic has also shown a spotlight on what matters most to a lot of people. So things like family, friends, hobbies, togetherness, having time and space to do the things that you're really passionate about. People are less likely to sacrifice these newfound joys for a company that they feel disconnected from, for a company they feel like doesn't really prioritize them, doesn't really prioritize these things that now they're prioritizing. And what do we do about that? Some of the top factors that have been declining when it comes to the employee engagement experience is clarity of expectations. People aren't sure what their role is. A lot of times titles are misaligned with what an actual role is. They're not sure exactly what they're supposed to be doing. So there's a lack of clarity around employee expectations. They're missing this connection to the company's purpose and mission, and they want to do something bigger. They want to align with something that's like bigger and better for this world. And if they don't even connect with the company's mission or know what the company's mission is, they're less likely to engage. They're missing out on these opportunities to learn and grow. And a lot of times that comes from feeling unsupported or being unsupported by their employer. They're missing these opportunities to do what they can do best. So like I said, sort of going back to like, maybe they're not fully supported. Maybe they're not really getting all the resources they need or the most innovative resources they need to make their role shine or do their best. So they're just disengaging altogether. And then lastly, a big one right here, especially in the context of this presentation, is that they aren't feeling cared about at work. The ping pong tables, all that is not enough to say, hey, I care about you as a person, as an individual. And because they're not feeling that, they're disengaging. However, the characteristics of an employee experience today are like dramatically different than all those things. They're different than just basic needs. Employees right now are less enticed by trendy material things like a shuffleboard table, a ping pong table, a cooler full of seltzer, and they're more drawn to a company based on how they feel when they're with that company, how the employee feels when they're with that company. So while some of those things might offer like a fleeting moment of stress relief or joy or a laugh here and there, it doesn't really scratch the surface of what's important to them today. They're less interested in the culture of hustle and grind that was so emphasized for so long. And right now, employees are really looking to feel engagement, authenticity, belonging, and connection. And these are things that are nearly impossible to capture when a company counts on very transactional relationships with their employees. So what are we supposed to do about that? How are you supposed to show your employees that you are being authentic, that you do care, that you are trying to connect without it feeling very like you're latching onto something just trendy or cool, like a ping pong table. I'm going to keep going back to it. So it starts with treating employees as whole, unique individuals, and creating more ways to show that authentically. That's key to a healthy, thriving company, ultimately. When companies can give their employees the must-haves, such as the tools to work, the livable wage, the health insurance, as well as the intangible feelings of worth, connection, appreciation, and purpose, they retain talent, they innovate faster, they see greater profitability, and all of that also turns into better experiences for their own customers. So when an employee is really thriving, feels really connected, feels really good, they want their company to succeed more. They're going to put in more effort, put in more collaboration, and in turn, that really emphasizes the experience that the customers are having with the company, which turns into customer loyalty, brand loyalty. It's just a big cycle that keeps feeding itself. So like I said, these are some of the ingredients for a world-class employee experience today. And while there are a lot of paths to providing purpose, showing appreciation and care, putting people's well-being first, one of the simplest gestures that employers could start with today to prove that these things are a priority is gifting. Like I said, I'm here with Zest, and so we are thinking about gifting 24/7. Now, I'm also not saying that employee gifting is a revolutionary strategy. It's not. It's been around seemingly forever. However, the things that have changed and the things that we really tune into at Zest is how you gift, why you're gifting, and what you're gifting. All of those things have changed since your dad or your grandpa got a nice watch for being at the company for 30 years or something like that. So not every gift is a good gift. These are actual screenshots I have found on the internet in different threads. This is a hot topic on the internet. People are quick to jump to social media if they are feeling especially unappreciated and resentful of their company for giving them a gift that makes them feel pretty sad. So when gifting feels impersonal, when it feels thoughtless, or when it feels like really cheap as well and like just generic and blah, in terms of both what is gifted and how it's given to them, employees can feel really unappreciated and disrespected. So it does the opposite. A bad gift does the opposite of maybe what the intention is. So it's especially catastrophic if employees head to social media to share how much their employer has missed the mark. So while I was putting together these slides, I actually was on social media one day, and these bubbles in the bottom are actual comments that people left in response to someone posting about a lackluster gift or like show of care from their employer. And I was like, how timely. These are real sentiments that people are feeling. And it was just hundreds of comments sharing the same sort of sentiment about like time to do as little work as possible. People who make these decisions are out of touch. And so obviously these gifts were missing the mark entirely and not giving the employee any sorts of feelings of care or support or appreciation. So like I said, gifting isn't new, but it is undergoing a much needed evolution. Employee gifting used to be a rare event, usually on an anniversary or for a big holiday like Christmas. And the gifts are usually the same for everyone with the same generic note attached. And this type of gifting feels like the company is just checking a box, and it feels like it's coming from a place of obligation instead of a place of care and authentic appreciation. Those factors that we talked about that comprise a better world-class employee experience today. And people can tell when a gift is given without regard for them. You can tell, I can tell, your employees can tell, and that can do a lot more harm than good, as we just saw on the slide before. It can create more disconnect, more disengagement between companies and the people who work there. A gift that's even sent to the wrong address entirely and someone doesn't get it while all their coworkers are getting gifts, like that, just all those things become a tally in the column of reasons to quit for an employee, and they're already looking elsewhere the more these impersonal gestures crop up, the more they're looking to head out. And gifting is great. Gifting shouldn't cause discomfort or discontent. That is the exact opposite. So instead, it needs to be reframed as, instead of this like, oh, it's a holiday, you get a gift, it needs to be reframed as a moment of connection to genuinely connect with people. It needs to be a warm moment with the employee, and it needs to be a touch point that really shows appreciation and respect for the individual themselves instead of the team at large or everyone. Like those gifts do have their moment. A bonus for everyone, a gift for everyone for doing a good job. But the more you can gift in a way that shows people you see them and you know what they like and you're paying attention to them and you care, the more those gifts will resonate and improve the employee experience. But the thing is, gifting can be really hard. And I think that is why it's done not well a lot of times, because especially when you're in charge of sourcing gifts and sending gifts to hundreds or thousands of people, it's really tough to find a balance between what is best for employees, what's going to hit those new marks of authenticity and engagement, and what's best for HR teams. What is something that can scale? What is a place they can find gifts that meet the needs of their employees or are actually really good gifts that show that you're paying attention and you care? What are gifts the employee can pick or can customize? Like all of those things become really hard. The larger the company, it's even hard for teams of 5, teams of 10. Finding something that you think everyone will like and finding a good way to get those gifts to them in a really thoughtful way without needing to do hours upon hours upon hours of logistical work is best. You need to find that balance. And you can probably guess where this is going. This is really where Zest shines. This is our bread and butter. Our team is passionate about gifting and making people's day. And that goes for making the recipient's day and making the gift sender's day, and how easy it is to shop for and send a gift that is personalized, is authentic, is engaging, and is ultimately a memorable experience that's just another warm touch point that adds up to a really great employee experience. So we don't think that gifting should be complicated or costly. It should be an accessible channel for people. It should be really easy for an employer to give an employee a really thoughtful gift without all the hoops they have to jump through or paying a ton of money for a platform that makes that possible. So what Zest really shines is we make this a really fast and easy experience for gifters and recipients. This is an example of the unboxing experience that people get with a digital gift. They can swap a gift for something they might like more. If they want a different flavor of cookie, a different size shirt, a different mug color, if those options are available, they can swap for them. We also erase the need to collect addresses. Well, you can send a gift in an email and a link, however your employees would best receive that gift, and it's baked into the flow of collecting those employee addresses. So you also don't have to worry about having up-to-date addresses, best shipping addresses, and you erase any of those errors that could really come up when it comes to physically shipping the gift. We collect those addresses from the recipients themselves as part of the flow. We also offer flexible gift delivery methods for any work environments. So if you do really want to send a gift directly to an address and have that moment of surprise on someone's doorstep, you can still do that. Or like I said, you can create links that you share in an email, in a text message, however feels fit. You could share it in Slack. You could share it in your Microsoft Teams, like however you want to share those gifts. It makes it super quick and easy to just like drop a gift into someone's day, make their day lift their spirits. Maybe they did something really great. Maybe they were extra helpful or extra nice. It just makes gifting a really easy, seamless, habitual part of your day. We also offer a big catalog. We do work with gift card companies, so we have a ton of gift card options for when those are a good fit, such as like spiffs. But we also offer a variety of like on-demand branded swag with no minimums. You can set those up. You can work directly with us to set up those branded swag custom kits. But we also offer a lot of really popular products that are probably, it's our favorite. They're a bit more attuned to what an employee is actually into, whether they really love coffee or chocolate or spa days or puzzles or plants or their pets. Like, there are gifts that you can send that really tap into what that specific employee is into in their day-to-day lives. And lastly, unlike a lot of other gifting platforms, we don't tie you into any contracts. There are no order minimums, and there are no SaaS fees. So you're not being blocked by a $10,000 price tag before you can even start sending gifts. Like I said, we really believe that gifting should be an accessible channel, an accessible thing for everyone. It should be really easy for you to send a gift to your employees and show them that appreciation. And I'm going to jump into a couple examples of when this has really gone really well. One of the users of Zest was Kaiser Permanente, a huge healthcare system, and their goal was to team with one of our vendors, Gift and Market, and they offer a ton of variety when it comes to gift boxes for everyone. They're packaged super nicely, handwritten notes. It's a very like personal, authentic moment for the recipient. And they wanted to team with Gifton and Zest and offer a variety of thoughtful gifts for nurses during this past Nurses Appreciation Week in 2023. And as you can imagine, this is a very large company. How can they appeal to thousands of nurses and offer them that really engaging personal experience? What we were able to do for them was set up this sort of mini store for them with several options. And the nurses were given a personalized message, include their first name, have this nice unboxing experience that is also a touch point with the brand. It's branded, has their colors. And then they could pick which of the gifts that they wanted. So just the option of choice really resonated with the gift recipients. And this was seen through the results. So gift acceptance rates beat expectations by 20.3%, which is huge, especially considering the scale of a project like this and the scale of a gifting strategy like this. They've given Nurses Appreciation Day gifts before. And so they had a rough idea, oh, we're using this new platform. Here are these really great options. Like, we will see an increase, but their expectations were just blown out of the park. And they also saw an increase in year-over-year gift acceptance rates by 36.3%. So just giving their nurses the choice of what they want and what they would really love increased their gift acceptance rates. Instead of providing one gift that didn't really feel personal, didn't feel individualized, and nurses being like, oh, I don't like this one gift option, I'm not even going to accept it. This year, they saw that acceptance rate just go through the roof. Another example is with our own team with Zest. We really wanted to create an easy way to send some Zest swag, some nice Zest branded merch to the teammates, to supporters of Zest, to people who chime in on social media or support us in our different projects. So we wanted to create a way that would be really easy for us to send our merch, send our swag as just an easy surprise, which is especially nice because we are a distributed team. We're a fully remote team. And we do get together several times a year. However, I'm not always there in person for instance, to accept a sweatshirt with Zest logo on it or anything like that. So we are dog fooding this product and wanted to create an easy way to send our swag, surprise and delight people. in a really easy way that also like promotes this sense of camaraderie across the employees who are scattered around the country. So we ended up having our own little unboxing. In terms of this sweatshirt or the swag that's offered, we can send out this gift to people and the recipients can pick their own size. So especially nice when we are contacting people outside of the company or new hires. We don't have to guess about their size. We don't have to get their size beforehand and sort of ruin the surprise. We could send them this gift in an email, in a message, and they can redeem it and pick their own size with no problem. So super easy to redeem. We love this feature because it takes out that guesswork. And then, for instance, when I received mine, I picked my size, I entered my own address. No one has to be shuffling through tons of spreadsheets about size and addresses and preferences and colors and stuff like that. You can set it up so your recipients pick those things on their own. No more guesswork, no more logistical nightmares. Super slick for HR teams to give their employees that really well-rounded experience. And all of this adds up to a lasting impact. These are real thank you notes. When a recipient gets a gift, they have the opportunity to enter in a thank you note. They can add their emojis. They can have that like next level moment of engagement beyond just the gifting moment. They can connect back with their employees, with their managers, with their coworkers, and say how much they appreciated this gift. And so these are real thank you notes from people. And you can just see a few of them touch on the highlights that I've talked about in this presentation so far. So people commenting on how thoughtful the gift is, how it made their day. The enjoyment, the top middle one, is very much about the gift of choice, being given those options to pick a gift that resonates with them, that extra engagement of being able to shop for your gift in this sort of mini store and those mini options. And then just people also commenting on the thoughtfulness of the gift. So it is that extra back and forth layer of conversation, appreciation, connection, and really makes it a memorable gifting experience as opposed to a generic branded pen being left on your desk or something like that. This really takes it to the next level, which is really where the employee experience is at today. It's not where it used to be 5 years ago, especially not where it used to be 10 years ago. It is next level, and this helps meet those needs. So modern gifting meets the modern employee experience. We are really trying to make gifting, like I've said, accessible to all, make it a channel that people can count on and look forward to for both the gift recipients and the people sending the gifts. And it all turns into this very cyclical pattern of goodness and appreciation. So when gifting is really easy, it becomes more thoughtful, habitual, and really seamless. It can be a natural part of your workflow or your processes when it comes to welcoming people aboard, celebrating people with a big accomplishment, just making someone's day or saying thanks and showing that appreciation. And that really amplifies feelings of connection and care and appreciation across employees. And that results in improved engagement, improved employee experience, and that turns into higher retention rates, healthy culture, happy people, more people wanting to work for your company, bringing on more talent, and that turns into more gifting, easier gifting, more moments of connection, and it just keeps turning that flywheel. So that is how you can tap into gifting. And use it to create this really good, engaging, connected, authentic, modern employee experience that is really being sought after today. And that's how you can use Zest to sort of help you on your mission with that.
Thank you so much, Liz. This was such an awesome presentation. And from personal experience, I can tell you Zest is really awesome. We use it here at Botable, and we absolutely love sending gifts through the Zest platform. So if you think Zest can enhance your company's employee experience, book a meeting with the Zest team or click the sign up button in the offer section located on the right-hand side of your screen. And thank you all for joining us today. Have a great day.
Awesome. Thank you.